What is up, my beautiful, lovely jubbies? So for once in this entire year, my health vlogs will come out on time. Woohoo! Why not? We sit back, we have some tea, or this is a little bit more better, and we'll sit and we have a chat about what's already been happening for the past few weeks. Now, I'm currently doing a third round of the Inner Transformation course with my coach, Rebecca Louise, and so far, it has been interesting. So let me just summarize the last 2 weeks for you guys. So, week before, I had 2 appointments back and back. I had my first counselling appointment for the year, and I had my job network appointment, which for a couple of weeks my work has gone away. Cool, I get 2 weeks off to do nothing. And then on that particular Thursday, I think it was afternoon, or it was on Friday, we got an email saying that we have our house inspection, and it was about 7 days early. We usually get 14 days, and the stress that Mum and we went through for the remaining of that, for that part of that week was fun. My brother came home, which was very good to see him again, and we all went to the nursing home with Nan and Papa, and it's always very surreal going to see them in the nursing home, because it still doesn't feel real a little bit. Like, it's the first time in a year that I actually saw them both since my pa had his hip surgery, and he was put in the home because he could not, really live on his own anymore, and that happened. So we had a beautiful lunch, even though it was a little bit awkward at first. We had fish and chips. The chips were really great. The fish was alright, but we didn't have cutlery. We didn't have the proper sauce that I would eat, or I wouldn't eat all of it. I had some brownies, which I didn't know was made with sultanas, so that was an interesting bite experience, which I checked out for sultanas. I had the muffins that I was eyeing, and I was hoping that it would not, send me to the toilet, as a lot of, cakes do sometimes. Once that was sorted, we came home. Mum and my aunt and my brother went out to see one of my aunts. I stayed home doing a lot of, personal development, like my personal reading, which I started last week. And even though I haven't done that really since, because when I was reading 2 of the chapters, which I did end up reading as well, it always comes to the food part. That's always iffy with me, but I do plan on going back to redoing that as well, so that is always a good thing. I completed my first workout in probably a few months when it comes to the BTSD, the BTES app. I have a feeling I just got that wrong again, but that's okay. I probably will just chuck it on the screen. But it was really great to do that stretch, amazing stretch workout. Even though some of my body was physically shaking, but that just proves to me that I need to do more stretching. And that's also when I found out I was like 7 days out from towards my period. So with this past week as well, you know, there was a bit of an incident. Well, not so much as the full-on incident, but we woke up to some unsettling news about Nanny. She's okay. We will know more what's happening on Friday, so I'll be home from that, and that's fine. Once we know what has to be removed and surgery date, my mum will be with her for 2 to 3 days. Same thing with my brother. So that was an unpleasant phone call on this past Monday, which was last Monday. We also went for a house inspection this week that, well, technically last week, that we actually went through, and it's always crazy when we have these house inspections because Mum gets very stressed out, and I get that, and I'll leave her to it. You know, I did do my part on Wednesday by vacuuming my room, doing what I had to do in and outside of my room, which was great. Mum was singing her lungs out, which as she likes to tend to do as she's cleaning, which I find very highly annoying. But you know, when you're in that sort of jam sort of thing, you just want to belt and just sing, and I can completely get that. And I completed the first week of the inner transformation course, which all happened in the same week. So I was very on top of things for the first 4 days, which I felt great. Friday, I just had to have a day for me. You know, for most of that entire week, last week I was watching all of Big Brother Australia season 1, the comeback season in 2020. I finished watching all of that between Friday. Well, the remaining of that episode that I didn't get to see. I was also watching the remainder of RuPaul's Drag Race season 13 for the US, which I actually really quite enjoyed. You know, Candy Muse is one of those queens that, you know, I get where she's coming from, but how she was sort of really arrogant throughout most of the season, and not only that, how she was a bit uptight to, you know, Elliot with the 2 T's. You know, I understand that, you know, to make sure and her will never be friends, and you know, she's a type of queen, you know, that I just got so turned off of the first season, like I did with Silky Nutmeg Ganache, and I actually have her blocked on all my socials because I really don't want to know what she's doing, because she made me so uncomfortable during her season. Sort of kind of like how Candy was in, you know, season 13, but Candy does have a lot of growing to do, and when she, you know, posted, you know, sort of a warning for that particular episode, I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen? And how she's just come across, and this is just in my opinion as a Drag Race fan, she's someone who needs to try and focus on herself, you know, sort of like how Vixen was in her season. But she has a lot of growing up to do, and when she shaded Ajo, who is actually her drag mother, I was so turned off of her in the very first episode. The second episode, you know, I saw her picking on a little bit on Elliot, and then it progressed until she left, and that didn't sit well with me. No matter what, if you're a friend or if you're a queen, you know, you shouldn't necessarily target her, and how she said in Untucked with that episode when it blew completely out of proportion, you know, when she said, oh, read the room, you know, be self-aware. And I felt like she was very picking on Elliot, like she didn't trust her since she walked through the door. And I understand RuPaul's Drag Race is a competition and also a reality show, but this is sometimes when queens like that come across as so arrogant and up their own butts, I get very turned off of them very quite quickly. And even though that Candy did very well in the season, she did very incredible in the comedy challenge, and I was actually more hoping that Rose and her actually would win, which again, I'm very proud of her. But this is times when she just made me feel as a fan very uncomfortable to watch sometimes. And I'm someone who never really full on talks about this. I have a friend who I talk about Drag Race all the time, and I don't necessarily say this publicly, and I truly don't, and I mean no harm to anyone. I understand that drag. Whoops, sorry, I pressed on a notification and it is completely closed on me. That's okay. So as I was saying, I don't normally say this all publicly. Like I said, I have a friend who I talk to more about this and who understands how I feel, because as viewers, you know, there's times when we watch a queen, you know, get very attacked, and same thing on social media, and that's what, you know, Candy Muse went through this entire season. But the reason why so many people, you know, were very angry at her was because of her behavior. You know, I like to always call someone out on their behavior. You know, I send no hate. I'm not a bully. I would never do that. That's not me. Used to, when I was so upset, I would. No, I'm 26, mate. I ain't an idiot. And one of the things that I did comment on one of, you know, Candy's, you know, tweets, I told her, it's your behavior. That is the reason why people are angry. You know, when you really look deeply at yourself and your own personal behavior, the learning starts to grow. You starting to grow as a person, and that's why so many people were on her ass, because of her arrogant behavior. And with her bullying towards, you know, Elliot with 2 T's, I just felt uncomfortable watching that, because I've been horrifically harassed over the internet. I've also been really badly harassed in person, which has still stayed with me, especially as a 26-year-old. And seeing that kind of behavior with someone who is an adult, I'm sorry, I'm gonna call out your bluff and say, no, you are an adult. Once you turn 18, you are a direct adult. Yes, the first 2 years of being an adult are, you know, your learning curves you have to do, and throughout your life as well. But when you turn a certain age, you need to act like an adult. I understand how things in the past can really affect you. I get it. I've been nearly in counseling and in my recovery for 10 years. I get it. I understand. And I think what Candy needs is a great support system, which I think she has, which is excellent. She needs to get counseling outside of what she does, and to really learn more about herself, personal development, you know, learning more about her. You know, there's nothing wrong with being, oh, I'm a sassy attitude, you know, I ain't gonna give a shit about anyone thinks. That's a okay thing to do, but if you're not recognizing your faults and recognizing your actual really not so great behavior, you're never going to change. You know, one of the reasons why I'm in, you know, Herbalife, my Team Fearless, you know, with all my inner transformation courses, you know, in my coaching courses that I love to do, because it helps me grow as a person. And I think that Candy would benefit this, and so many of the other queens as well, because personal growth is so important. You know, when I watched back to all of All Stars 5, and this is in the past week that I rewatched it as well, you know, Shea Coulee went through a lot in season 9's finale, and how people were actually putting pedals when they would go to their meet and greets, and she was so traumatized by it. And not a lot of people talk about how they've been traumatized on Drag Race, and even the fans can be very toxic. I agree. People went nuts on Mayhem in the Affair, you know, the Alexis Mateo stuff and also for Derek stuff through, All Stars 5, And it was a full on. I get it. And Shay overcame that in that season. And ultimately, she won. She overcame that. That's what I believe that Candy Muse needs to do too. This is no way shading her at all. Please do not see that as that. I'm someone who's taking a step back. I heard her story. I heard what she's been through. And it just doesn't feel like she has gotten help for it. If she has, great, awesome, more props to you, honey. But just really understand that, sometimes your behavior speaks louder than your actual words. And it's very, very true, with all of the situation, with my brother's ex, fiance, of all the crap that I went through with that for 9 years, I have talked multiple times to Mum, who has changed within the last nearly 10 years. She said me, which is true because I'm constantly learning and growing about me in a lot of personal development courses, really investing into my health and myself, because the only person who can change is this one right here. No one else can but yourself. And that's what I believe in Candy Muse, that I know she will grow so much more from this experience. I hope that she does apologize to Elliot and Tamisha. I find that very important, that she'll take accountability for her actions with that, which I think that it's incredibly important that she does. I personally think that that is very, very important. But not only that, she needs to understand that, when people are attacking you, you immediately go into fight and flight mode immediately. Get it? I go through it. But once you really start sitting down and really understanding more about you and yourself and your actions, that's when everything changes. So, to Candy Muse, I love you, girl. I do wish the most best for you. Same thing with some of the other queens that, sometimes I don't like from the season, but grow in All Stars. Hopefully in a couple of years, you'll come on All Stars and you will change my mind like how I changed my mind about Kennedy Davenport in, All Stars 3. We're going to leave it as that. No shade at all. Just remember, only you can control you, not everyone around you. That's where I'm going to leave it. But anyway, so this sort of part of the week I'm going to catch you guys up on. So far, I've been mainly trying to catch up on week 1. So Friday, Saturday and Sundays all have been caught up. I was really excited for the education part of, Sunday or Saturday. And I finally listened to Wind Down with Yana Kramer from One Tree Hill. I was blown away by the podcast. I've already started the review process of that whole first 5 podcasts, which I'm really excited to get into and sit down again and listen to them, which I will. Which leads me into the final part of this video, which is going to be about my Demi Lovato series now. I have not recorded since last month. Now, I know this series is going to be full on as this. So, on Friday, which is, as you're watching this as of right now, I'm going to sit down. I'm not going to wear any makeup because I'm actually wearing makeup at the moment. So, this is what it looks like now. I know, not bad, right? Learning more, which is excellent. I'm going to sit down because I'm actually on my period at the moment. I'm going to sit down here. I'm going to record the first sort of video that is just addressing the possibility of what's going to happen in, you know, React or in the thoughts part of the video, so you know what's happening for that. Then the reaction video, then thoughts video. Now I'm going to work on one of these at a time. So episode 1 will be recorded on Friday. Now I won't record anything more else until Monday, which is a week after next week, because the next 2 Thursdays and Friday, which is next week, I will be at a 2-day course for my job network, and it's a really great team building exercise, you know, self-growth for myself, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's what I'll be working on next week. So that's why I'm filming this I'm actually filming this on Wednesday morning, just so I can edit this, post it, schedule it ready for you guys, and then I don't have to worry, which is great. Now, I was originally supposed to do this towards the end of the month, but because of another training that the person who's running this actually has to do it, it's now been upped to next week, and I was fine with that. I had 2 to 3 weeks notice, which is great, and I'm really am looking forward to doing that course, because, you know, I'm doing my inner transformation course at the moment, and this is just another added bonus to an amazing May, which sometime in the next week I have to do all my job searches too, and I'll make sure that I'll make sure of it. Now, as I was saying, I'm on my period, and I'm gonna wait until Friday to start recording the first episode of Demi Lovato Dancing with the Devil, but I'm doing that on the Friday, possibly maybe even the Saturday, but I will start recording them, because I've been postponing them for almost a month now, even though I finished recording the first 4 videos of the whole series. I need to start recording those videos because one, I was hoping to release them in June for my 10-year anniversary. That probably won't happen. So hopefully I can post it at some point this year. That's what I want. But I still gotta look after myself. And that's one of the most important things. Sorry, my mouth just got a bit dry then. It always happens when I'm talking about important stuff. It always makes my mouth dry. I'm also making sure I'm looking after me before watching all the Demi Lovato stuff, because I know it's just going to trigger me. I know that. I have stated in those 4 videos, I've stated on the last couple of months of, you know, trying to do the series and how full one is already going to be on me. And the most important thing, I'm doing it for me. I'm doing it to say, hey, look how far I've come. I can sit and watch stuff like this and try not to have it full on trigger me, which I know that it already is. But the most important thing is that I'm doing this more because I want to. Not for anyone else, I'm doing it for me. Like I did with Simply Complicated series, this is just even more complicated. But we all know after the 2018 overdose, Demi will tell her story. She is. And we're going to leave it there. I like to have a voice at the end of the day too. But that's the gist of the last 2 weeks that I've been going through. House inspection, inner transformation course started, period started this week. Had to have a break for myself. My brother came home. Something happened with Nanny. She's fine. And all of that stuff. And I know once I do, you know, the series with Demi Lovato, I'm going to be very cautious because I know it's just going to trigger me. I've already been triggered for the past month, but I know I can do it. So I'm filming it on Friday, not wearing any makeup because I know myself, I'm going to cry. And with mascara, my eyes can get immediately triggered. Well, it can immediately, you know, be very sore, irritated, and that's why I don't wear makeup because it's just annoying. But anyway, this is it for this week's video. I wanted to pre-record this 2 days early, or technically 3 days early, because I know when I start to go record that video, I'm going to be 1, off my period, 2, it's going to be full on for me, and I already know that. But I need to get started on the series because I just want to start getting sorted, and then I won't record any more videos until after those 2 days course, and I'll probably reconvene on that Monday. But I truly hope that you guys are having a great May so far. I certainly am. Done a lot of editing, sorting out YouTube videos, which is great. Trying not to be Debbie Downer when it comes to my period, but you know what? Sometimes a girl just needs a few days to get used to her period again. Just a few days, and then you'll be fine again, which is true. And it's annoying. But anyway, guys, this has been a very, very long video as it is. Thank you all so much for joining for this health vlog of May, the first one of May. All my socials, all of my links are of course always going to be down below. The music that I played in this video always will be credited right after this part of the video. Then you can go to my Anchor, which you have 2 annotations will magically pop up, which will be of a recent video, and also the health blog playlist. I love you all. I'll catch you in another couple of weeks on how I am doing. Fingers crossed it will be the same kind of blog like this, actually on time, so it'll be between Wednesday or Thursday I would record, or even earlier. But other than that, I am off, and I hope we all enjoy the rest of May. I'll see you all in 2 weeks.